Hi there, Frank here for premium members for the trading day of September the 30th, 2025, a Tuesday. So let's continue the journey here. We have long setups or longs in progress depending on when you entered or when you are planning to enter into these longs. So a little bit of lesson here. Let's look at the ES first. So as we identified, we had an anti a couple of days ago, which has completed. And what you need to know about the anti, as we mentioned, that is the first attempt at a trend termination. Not necessarily a reversal, because usually it turns into a sideways action, so we call it trend termination first. And it now has completed. The anti, by definition, is usually a short-term pattern here and potentially a trade, which runs its course and then it's done. And what's next? That's a different story. And that's exactly what is happening now, because you see the anti is done, then we have these bottom tails. Something new is starting to happen, a new chapter, and now we have approached the upper Keltner, we have a pullback, so we have to think long. And what we did a couple of days ago, if we did it, is history. It should not infiltrate our thinking. So we are bullish on the ES, and let's see where we want to take it first. Well, just to 67.50 first, the previous high as a default, but I would expect that that's not where it's going to stop. Now, as every stampede or rally, nothing lasts forever. We have to be on the lookout for trend weakness, which when it comes, and if it comes, rather when it comes, we will keep an eye on it and we'll act accordingly. Right now, I think there's reason to continue to be bullish here. Let's look at the other ones, and they're pretty much telling us the same story, which is confirmation. Remember how we think about the indexes. If they tell us different stories, that's always a sign or a reason to be cautious or careful. But right now, look, they're telling it's the same story on all of them. This is the NQ. So whichever you trade, I think long trades should be planned for tomorrow, or perhaps you may start to enter right now after hours. We have the long signal, by the way, on the YM on the daily chart, you see, and the 4-hour beautiful setup here to the long side with these bottom tails. Everything points towards accumulation to the long side. Let's also look at the RTY, on which we still have a little bit of distance to go to the previous high, and this looks like a measured move that would take us back to 2,500. Excellent stuff. Look at the weekly. So I think the map and the job is spelled out for us. Now, if for any reason you're not doing these trades and you're not benefiting, then open up a beer and think it over. What is the reason? Could be anything, like 100 different things, and you're the only one who knows. But these are times when a trader, if you do this job, we should be on the side of the beneficiaries of these situations. Let's move on to currencies, on which I don't see much, but it's slowly starting to evolve into potentially bullish setups. This looks like a measured move. Ignore the short, of course. Well, not of course, but in my reading, this is not a short I'm interested in. Too many green candles here, and the daily is not really bullish or bearish at all. But there's no setup. This is sideways market right now. We'll get to it when something happens. Now the CL is the trade that if you went long here, this really doesn't really look good. This happens too. You need to have some rules for this. Either you let it play out, but after this big red candle, you may just want to abandon the trade and use your capital elsewhere, rather than spend a couple of more days here doing nothing and potentially being stopped out with a 1-hour loss. So make sure that in your trading plan you have a rule set for these situations. And I'm talking about semi-discretionary, semi-automated trading. This is what we call a human-filtered algorithmic trading. So you can do these trades with ProSTR or BT, but in this kind of trading on especially 4-hour charts, we are not obliged to take every signal. And sometimes we might take a trade, for example, something like this, for which we didn't technically get a long signal yet. Okay, let's move on to metals, on which everything is happening and on which we are most active. Gold continues to shine. We might most likely be heading towards 4,000. Trail it. This is a 1 hour plus. So what can we say about this market other than being long on it? And the SI, same story. We're heading towards 50 in most likelihood. Look at this, in all likelihood. And there's reason to trail this from behind. Excellent. This is very much looks like the trade of the year. Like we said, look at this breakout from this 30-60 area. So this is already 10, 11 points or dollars on the SI. Let's also look at PA and PL because they're moving too. A little quieter market, but check this out. We said 1400 and, well, this is a nice bullish setup here on the 4-hour chart and the daily. I don't really like the spikes here, but this could go to 1400. I'm not saying this is my first choice, but if you want to put a little bit of capital into this, perhaps a PALL ETF, I think is going to hit 1400. And PL Platinum also shines. Look at this. Here we go, 1 hour plus on the daily chart. And this is just a classic wedge. Nothing that we don't have in our book, you see. So all these setups are part of our job. What can we say? And I'll stop here because that keeps us busy. There might be MBT with the indexes because of the correlation. MBT Bitcoin has turned. So be mindful if you want to trade this because this is a clear sign of price rejection of lower prices, that is. And now we are heading back and we have completed the first little measured move here. Okay, but note that the weekly party is just about to start and 125 is most likely where we're going. So if you're active on Bitcoin, then here it is. Okay, so this looks wonderful. Also thanks to all the new members who joined the new membership package 365. This is just to maybe reach more people who were hesitating. So we hope that you will find this service and the software useful. And please read through the documentation of the premium methodology. This is semi-automated, and we mostly trade the 4-hour chart in the daily context. And of course, we can look at the smaller charts for precision entries. This is what we call precision entries. Okay, so check out the documentation. Be ready because these are good times. And probably we're going to head into the holiday season, which is usually a bullish sentiment in the US on the markets. And that's what I expect going into the holidays. So let's stay on track and we'll be back in the morning. And until then, mindful trading.